Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this September 18th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here with us today. Sorry we're a little bit late, had a few tech issues getting going, but we're glad that you are here with us and that we are here. If you want to find our content, go to EOA.network. That takes you to a link tree where you can find the locations of our YouTube page and Facebook and so on and so forth. Here in just a little bit, we are going to have President of BMCC, Blue Mountain Community College, Mark Browning will be with us. So, how are you, man?
Good. Good morning. Good
Yeah.
morning. Good morning. So, first Friday.
Yeah.
So, BC, would you say, like, what percent of tech issues, which I hate, by the way, that's why I'm not a tech person, are human? Like, was this a human error or was this a computer error? What percent?
Just generally?
Yeah. Yeah. 50-50?
Yeah, probably.
Is that about right?
Yeah, I mean, in our operation.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, that's probably pretty standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine, like, I was wondering that one, like, is it?
Well, I take it back. I guess it kind of depends on, like on the morning show, when we use the same equipment and the same setup and everything.
Very rarely human.
No, not very.
Right.
Yeah, very. I mean, we'll miss things here and there, but when there's a major glitch, and that's yeah.
Do you think that companies that make all this stuff do it on purpose?
No.
You don't think they like say like a computer program, right? You don't think they like throw something in there that makes it to where you have to?
No.
No. I was thinking about that the other day. I kind of feel like maybe they do.
I mean, there certainly might be some of that,
Yeah.
So, but that's super advanced. I mean, you take like a QuickBooks. QuickBooks is, made by Intuit.
That's the Excel document, or is
Well,
it a whole?
that's what we use for our business, and a lot of businesses use. Yeah.
To keep track of money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're gigantic,
Yeah,
and,
tons of businesses use QuickBooks.
yeah. I mean, but what they will do is, if you have an outdated version, they'll just turn off certain functions.
Oh yeah, that would piss me off. Well, you hear me in here cussing at the computer all the time. Like
or we see that with with Adobe. Yeah, we have a love-hate relationship with them.
Adobe drives me. That email where it tells me that it's gonna change my password, that one really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, why would you change? Why would you give me a new password because you think that somebody else, that I'm sharing my account with somebody else?
No.
Well, guess what? I am.
Yeah.
But it's right here in the same office.
Yeah. No. I there's an email that there's with our Microsoft Office account. It's called 360. Anyhow. They force you to change your email like once every 90 days.
Oh no, man!
I wish in the worst way, if I could find the right person to email, I'd go like, who works for who here? Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Yeah. You mean change your password every 90 days?
Yeah,
and it has to be unique every time.
Yeah.
Do you run out of passwords eventually, or like you have to start? I mean, it's hard enough to keep track of passwords as it is.
Yeah.
I honestly now I just have my phone do it. Like it.
Well, here's where they're all going, and this is all because of security breaches and stuff. Most of these companies are wanting you to have an authenticator. So it's beyond them sending you a text message. It's an authenticator on your phone. The problem is they each have their own authenticator. Google has an authenticator and Microsoft has an authenticator. And so then you've got to download that particular app onto your phone, connect it to your account.
Yeah. I got mine set up to where for most of my stuff I can just put my fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Like not everything, but quite a bit.
Well, but that's another thing is like, so they'll have a biometric fingerprint. Your phone will, but then the individual apps will want your fingerprint too, which is like, why would I need to do this twice? Anyhow,
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Tech drives me crazy. Like, you know that. It's nothing that I'm interested in at all.
yeah. Well,
Zero.
you want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right, man.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. The Stearns & Foster Luxe Hybrid mattresses are stylish and comfortable, all by design. From every hand-stitched seam to the IntelliFlex hybrid coils, this mattress is crafted for ultimate comfort and support. Learn more at Northwest Furniture and Mattress in LeGrand. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams. The polls came out yesterday, and the undefeated Mountie volleyball team is the unanimous #1 team in the country. 4 CCC teams in the top 25, 3 receiving votes. That's a total of 7 CCC teams getting national recognition right now. That's crazy. This conference is so good. This weekend, the Mounties host Bushnell at 6 p.m. on Friday night, and then Saturday is the matchup everyone has been waiting for as #3 Corbin comes to town for what is no doubtedly going to be a banger of a game. I mean, this is a huge game. Corbin and EOU, bad blood. Well, maybe not bad blood, but they don't like each other, and they beat up on each other. Corbin's won the CC a couple times in the CCC a couple times in the past 5 years. EOU's won it, and the energy in Quinn for this game is a different level. If you have never experienced it, get up there at 5 o'clock on Saturday, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's crazy. Both men's and women's soccer teams are at Warner Pacific and Walla Walla this weekend. The men's team is finally getting a little bit of recognition on a national level by receiving a few votes in the latest national poll, which is what they deserve. This comes after the Mounties knocked off top 25 Westcliff on the road and are yet to lose a game. EOU football is at home again this weekend as they host Frontier Conference newcomer Valley City State University. That's a doozy to say, Valley City State University. What a name. This is a non-conference game for the Mounties as VCSU is on the other side of the recently expanded Frontier Conference. It's a big game for the Mounties. They're 1-1 right now. I want to say this is a must-win for them. They got a tough schedule coming up, and I think to try to make it to this national tournament for football, they're going to need these non-con games as wins because their conference schedule is tough. LHS girls volleyball is on the road at 6 p.m. tonight in Nissa. Girls soccer goes to Fruitland on Saturday for a 4 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff, and LHS boys soccer goes to Umatilla tomorrow night at 6. Why the high school schedules soccer games at the same time as football games? It drives me crazy because I think every kid should be supporting the other teams. Like, schedule that thing at 4. You know what I mean? Or just, yeah. LHS football is at home versus Burns tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Burns is the #1 team in the state at the 3A level and the defending 3A state champions. This is going to be a tough game for the Tigers coming off of a loss last week to Tillamook. That game will be live streamed right here on the EOA Live network. We are still looking for businesses to advertise during these games, so if you're interested, message us or email office@eoalive.tv. Around the GOL Baker, the game has been moved to Saturday at 5 p.m. in Baker versus Vale, and that'll be live streamed right here on the EOA Live network as well. Ontario goes to Ashland, Pendleton goes to Weiser, and the Dowls host Philomath. And for football around the valley, Imbler goes to Echo for a 7 p.m. kickoff tomorrow night. Union is at DeSales and Walla Walla. Cove is at Lyle. Elgin is at Duffer, and Powder Valley hosts Riverside. All of those games kick off at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Go check out their showroom. The Daggett family does a lot for this community, and I mean they're awesome, and they want to make you comfortable in your own home.
Good stuff, man. Thanks. All right, let's take a look outside. And See, it looks. I think it's going to be a beautiful day
In
today.
3, 2.
We don't. Oh, okay. Well, so yeah. So give us that weather graphic. Our outdoor shot is not handy right this second.
Warmer
so,
today.
Yeah.
Not complaining. It doesn't look like there's any rain coming our way.
Nope.
2% chance.
Yeah. So next 3 days is like in the mid 80s. So
Beautiful, beautiful. Make it feel like the summer still.
yeah. All right. Cool.
You think it's gonna cool? You think it's gonna? Do you think by October it's gonna cool off?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I mean,
hope
it already has that fall feeling.
See,
So-
I don't really feel fall. Like
Yeah.
I judge it by the trees, and the trees haven't.
They haven't turned. Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit, but
Yeah. All righty. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Mark Browning, President of BMCC. All right, we're back. Mark Browning, BMCC President. How are you, man?
Good morning. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
good morning.
You been staying out of trouble?
Best we can.
That's the story we're sticking with. this
That's
morning?
right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
How about you?
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Fall term starts on Monday. Student athletes have been on campus. Everyone's back now, but we've had, fall sports have been back for about a month.
Yeah.
In action. So we had a nice split yesterday over in Treasure Valley. The men won, the women lost, but it was very close. And that's a good program over there. So we're really proud of that. So volleyball's underway. They're playing hard. They're building. We're coming back. So we're not at the level of the Mounties, but we're aspirational.
Yeah.
So we're
Does BMCC have cross country?
we don't.
No
I'd like
cross
to.
country?
Yeah, that's something that I could see in our future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good outlet.
Very popular in this area. Too,
Well, I
like-
think in this area, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, and it's a good possibility. From our perspective, we could add that. The facilities are not an issue, so you got to be able to cover your travel. Our conference still has cross country, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you don't have to worry about Title IX because you would add men's.
you
and
do both.
women's. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So it could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems like there's probably some good places to run over there.
Oh my goodness, yeah. With the hills around, we
Yeah.
got a lot of trails, and
Yeah.
it'd be a good way to go.
And you guys, Pendleton just got done with Pendleton Roundup.
Yep, survived another one.
We were talking about that a little bit.
It's it is beyond an event. It's an event with a capital E. I think people outside the area may not have a full appreciation for what it is, but it
Yeah.
takes 1,000 volunteers to pull that thing off, and it's
Cool.
not just the days of the rodeo. It's the days leading up. It's there's two big parades. There's concerts. There's so much volunteerism that help makes that thing really tick. That's a big thing for us at the college is community service. So we give people release time. Hey, if your Rotary Club's pouring beer or parking cars or parking RVs, great, go.
Yeah.
We want you involved in that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of our people that are involved in the Altrusa chapter in town, and they do a ton. So we work with the chamber to help find volunteer opportunities for all of our people, and we only close on Friday. We host the governor's luncheon on Friday, and then everybody heads off to the rodeo. But we host. I had a chance to catch up with Kelly Ryan, your wonderful president over here at EOU, on Thursday. That's typically the day when most of the colleges and universities are in town, and we host a luncheon up there and just get a chance to touch base and see how everybody's doing. It's one of my favorite events of all of Roundup Week. So yeah, we knock on wood, we got through another one.
No, and we were talking beforehand. This is the very first one that I've been to, and, which is crazy. You've been here almost 30 years.
Yeah,
and
I don't know how you've avoided it.
I know, but it was, yeah. I mean, it was funny. I mean, the bottled water, everything to drink was $4. That was, and they don't have drinking fountains, which that's strategic. But it was the one thing that was really cute was there was a watering. There were lots of vendors that sold really good food and everything.
Food's actually really good.
But there was a watering station. It was just, and you could tell it was an organization that was raising money,
right.
and it was the mom and the little girl were the one that she was giving, and it was so cute because I gave him a tip and the mom goes, we got a tip, and then she coaxes the little girls like, come on, we got to do our dance, but it was just so point being, there were a lot of professional vendors there.
Oh yeah,
but there are also a lot of volunteer organizations that are using that to raise funds. Yeah.
In the bull riding or the professional bull circuit that comes through on Monday, Tuesday, leading into Roundup, and then also the concerts on Saturday and Sunday, they're at Happy Canyon, and those vendors that are under the grandstands, and it's often the swim team from the high school, and some of those, any of those clubs from Pendleton High, the food is, the burger from the Pendleton High swim team, that's a must-have. So next year when you come over, we'll go get burgers.
Well, and that was the takeaway that I did. Well, I mean, I walked the whole gamut to find something to buy for lunch, and there was the line 20 deep in every one of those, but the concessions right under the grandstands, that was the place to be. You could get a decent hot dog and a decent hamburger, and it was fast, and
it's truly an experience.
So
wear your hat. You got your hat?
I did not. I am not.
You're not a hat person.
Well, I'm just not.
Not a Walmart cowboy.
I don't, that's
the rest of them.
I mean, I thought about it. Yeah, that was the other thing. There's a lot of hat vendors there.
Yeah.
What does a hat cost? I was gonna.
Depends on what you want. They can range from all the way to all the way.
Yeah. Where do they start at? $100 or so?
You can get a really low end for around $150. If you're a working cowboy,
right?
You're not buying your hat at Roundup.
No.
But you're all weather resistant. You're probably in that $500-600 range. But that thing's going to last you a decade.
Or
because you only wear it one weekend a year.
But they wear them every day.
Well, cowboys do, but 90% of the people that go over there wear it like 7 times a year.
You know what I mean? Put it back in the box and away you go.
Yeah. Well, I grew up around that culture. I mean, when I was a kid, I wore a cowboy hat. I had cowboy boots and grew up in Wyoming, and boots are uncomfortable.
When you get them broke in. Well, when you get to be a certain age, you either got the orthotics in there or something, and it's tougher to find.
But I mean, the point is like, I just wasn't. It was a little bit like dressing up for Halloween. It's like no, I'm just going to be
Cowboy
me.
Christmas.
I just whoever
it's been described as Cowboy Mardi Gras sometimes. I had a legit Western person tell me, you want to know who the real cowboys are? Find the people who are wearing comfortable shoes.
For real.
So, I hear you.
Well, it's funny. We did a little rodeo thing not too long ago. Before the rodeos here, and the cowboy who legitimately was a cowboy, he was just wearing a
baseball cap.
A baseball cap.
I have a nice straw hat that I wear when I'm camping, just to keep the sun off me. Because that's what we do at this age.
That's right.
I mean, when I used to come over, I used to come every summer as
Yeah.
a kid. So my aunt and uncle have a farm here out on Hunter, and so I got kind of used to like the summer times. I got a picture of me in cowboy boots, a bolo tie,
Oh, there you go.
and a
I love a
cowboy
good
hat
bolo
when
tie.
I'm like
Yeah.
7 years old. I think.
Yeah.
That'd be a
And
good
I
photo.
mutton busted when I was a kid too. So I mean, I got a little cowboy in me.
Well, I'd like to see some
I've bucked
video
a lot of
that.
bales, so I mean that
See, now that's the legit.
built
Yeah.
a lot of fences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I've thrown my share of bales.
Oh yeah, that'll get you. That's a good summer job for high school athletes, man.
I
That'll
love
get
those
you
memes that
ripped
say,
up
you know,
quick.
I don't want to hear about your summer until you've spent the summer on the back of a wagon stacking bales.
Yeah, with a wet handkerchief over because I have hay fever too. So it's like just eyes are just puffed
yeah.
up and running, just throwing
Good
bales
times.
on the back.
Well, so what are you looking forward to? What's BMCC looking forward to?
We're good. Start of term is on Monday, fall term.
Yeah.
It's, you know, technically our year starts in the summertime with our summer term, but it really, in essence, with everybody, it starts
Yeah.
in September. We're cautiously optimistic. You know, it is such an uncertain time in education between what's coming in or out of D.C., who knows every day, and Salem's uncertainty,
Yeah.
and, you know, certainly the news that's coming out of there budgetarily has got us all, you know, we're keeping a pretty watchful eye. But we're optimistic. We're cautiously optimistic. I think for us as a community college, as that entry point, and as a place where students come, and we're kind of the portal, either, you know, they come here or wherever they go and they're done, our function is still pretty steady. We're more influenced by the economy in terms of when unemployment goes up, enrollment goes up, because people
Yeah.
come back to retrain. Despite unemployment being very low the last few years, now it's starting to creep up a little bit, but where it's been lower, our enrollment's still been up. So we've been back growing again. We're kind of showing, as of late yesterday, just flat for this year, and that's okay. We can do that. We're
Yeah.
going to be all right. So, you know, there are certain fields that are still growing. Others are constricting a little bit. The uncertainty, I think, for many people, they're just not sure what's happening in the public sector. You know, I thought we got rid of the Department of Education. Well, there was a directive, but it's still in existence. We're still turning in reports and processing financial aid and doing all those things. So that chaos that's coming out of the narrative from the federal side is certainly having an impact. For us, our biggest role, and for me, it's just keep going every day.
Right.
And be that place and that institution where you know you can count on us.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there.
So tell me how that chaos affects you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
make
So-
the dots a little closer
Yeah,
we just don't know.
The amount of uncertainty with certain funding streams. For example, TRIO. TRIO is a program that has helped millions of students that come into higher education that need, they just need a little help, be it tutoring, helping to get, you know, understanding how to navigate to register for a class.
Okay.
They've come from backgrounds that have not typically had a lot of higher ed exposure. They're first generation. That program has been really under scrutiny because it traditionally serves a lot of people of color. And this administration has been trying to take a different approach. Our TRIO program, it's a 5-year grant when it comes up. It was up this last year. We got reapproved. We got reauthorized. And that's a little surprising for some folks. Hey, how'd you do that? Well, we just talked about how we help people. We did not concentrate on some of the Salem-esque words, if you will. We just talked about how we help people. And we help people get jobs because of the training that they get. The uncertainty comes in programs, for example, through the Department of Ag. There is a lot of support that's for rural communities. Well, technically those programs are still there because they've been authorized by Congress, but the executive branch is not. They have to execute them. They have to administer them. And they're slowing everything down while it's all tied up in the court. So we had a partnership on meat cutting, one of the most popular things we've done. in the last few years. We don't know if we're going to be able to do that again after this program's done. Now, we've got enough for the next 2 years, but in year 3, we don't know what's going to happen. Processing of financial aid. Students that come in either on Pell Grants or take loans, it's just a slower time to process.
Huh.
So so if you're a college student when you apply,
Earlier
it's
you
taking
apply.
longer to find out if you
Yeah.
what you're getting?
You know, and last year, well, and over the last 5 years, FAFSA, you know, the free application for federal student aid has been a disaster. I
Really?
mean, you know, the feds just, they tripped over it every possible way they could. It is, and that's both administrations, right? I'm not picking on one or the other.
Right.
They both messed
That's
it up.
government just doing a bad job at
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And one points a finger at the other, and in the meantime, the poor student's the one who's really
Right.
missing out.
Yeah.
My advice is do it early. Get there and get in line early, because it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
The upside for us and for people like EOU and others is we have wonderful foundations who are stepping in to help students. And that's what we do out here, right? We take care of each other. So that slows down. Getting new programs approved through the Department of Ed is incredibly slow right now. Part of it is there's just not, you know, yes, they reinstated everybody, but they came in, they wiped half or 3/4 of them out and said, you're gone, you're fired, right? You're fired. And then they all go, and then, you know, 6 weeks later, the court goes, oh, no, you can't fire them, bring them back. Well, they've either gone off and done other things, or they're like, I'm not going back to that mess.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning that up. So they go do something else, and so you have a fraction of the people who were there, still there, trying to make it all work. And it's a tough go back there. I sit on a national commission for small and rural schools within the community colleges. There's about a dozen of us from around the country, and our meeting is in November. And the stories we're getting in some of the reports that are coming in early, it's some heroic efforts by people just to try to hold the thing together. It's pretty wild.
Back to the FAFSA for a minute. You said the process has gotten. Don't like 60% of all college students?
Everybody, unless you just come in and write a check or hand over the greenbacks, you got to fill out the FAFSA. That's the portal for everything. Yeah.
And they've made it harder to.
Yeah.
And the process longer.
It's gotten incredibly and incrementally harder for the last 25 years.
Wow.
There's more demand for data and background, and now what you have, is AI.
Right.
For all the ways that we love Siri, and I argue with her all the time, and many times she tells me she does not respond to that kind of language.
Yeah.
I got that coming over this
Me
morning. But artificial intelligence is now being used by, my grandmother had a term, ne'er-do-well. Don't go hanging with that. Don't go with that boy. He's a ne'er-do-well. Well, my dad would say he's a knucklehead, right?
Yeah.
But there are ne'er-do-wells, if you will, who are using AI as a way to scam. I mean, there have been thieves and robbers throughout history, all the way back to biblical times, right? Now they use AI. So one of the things that every college and university is experiencing to one degree or another are false applications.
Yeah.
So they go and they apply to come to your school. Great, I've got, Jimmy Johnson here who's going to come, from Tarpon Springs, Florida, and come to school out here at Blue Mountain, and has all the information down. They've got a false FAFSA record in there. Their intent is to get in and receive financial aid, because then they're in the system. That worm is in the system, and then they can go from there. Wow. And it takes an incredible amount of work to strip through those and to make sure that they're legitimate. So we do all kinds of different things, measures to help make sure that the student's legit, but it just takes time.
Yeah.
And so it slows everything down. If we're a smaller school, but if we're not a 1A, but we're like a small 2A, right, in the scheme of things. And if we get 200 applications overnight, wow, that was busy. 125 of them will be false.
Oh,
but you got to sort through each one.
Wow.
This time of year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That reminds me, when I first went to college, I applied for financial aid.
Yeah.
And somebody was already pulling financial aid with my Social Security number.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be that's how they do it. They would replicate numbers
Yeah,
and
they-
steal identity. Well, this is just another form of identity theft. Because if they can take student loans in your name, that's identity theft.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough. Yeah.
So it's funny. I was at the OTech Power Summit yesterday.
Yeah.
And there was of course a lot of conversation about AI, but one of the keynote speakers, she described it the best. She said, you have to remember that AI is like a 5-year-old who wants to please you. And if you tell a 5-year-old to go play, there's going to be chaos.
That's right.
But if and she was talking about the kind of prompts and when you use it
That's
appropriately.
exactly it.
Yeah.
What you feed it, it will give you back. I was
Yeah.
having a conversation with somebody on our campus yesterday. We were talking about the difference in their AI versus my AI and what I use it for. And sometimes I log in, sometimes I don't. Well, the algorithm that it develops based on what I put into it for inputs and it gets back is different based on all those things.
Yeah.
And so you'll have people across campus saying, well, I put my presentation into AI and it came back and it looked like nonsense. Well, you haven't been feeding it that in the past.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you've asked this 5-year-old to do your tax return.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
But you have to feed it and grow it. And I think that's the challenge for all of us, whether we're a consumer, whether we're in education. How do we use this for the most productive means possible without letting it drive us and we continue to have some measure of control over it?
Yeah.
The conversations of, well, students are going to use AI, that was 10 years ago. Most of us were kind of peaking up around 5 years ago going, we got to look at this. It was way beyond that. There's counter AI programming that will tell you how much of
Absolutely.
this was artificially generated.
Yep.
The challenge for faculty now is how do I integrate that into my curriculum and my lesson plans productively? Because I know my students are going to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were having a conversation about cell phones 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some places figured it out, others haven't. Now in Oregon, allegedly they're banned in the high schools. I'm kind of
They are.
curious to see how that's going.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
At our level, it's a tool.
Yeah.
So
Right. You don't even have to have a scientific calculator
no,
anymore. You
just
have in
figure
your
it
pocket.
out, right? Just figure out how to use that. And that's the challenge with AI. How do we use that in this discipline productively? Because it is, I've been to a couple of these. I was unable to go yesterday. We had events on campus, but I really wanted to go to that summit. But it is, one of the common themes I've heard over the last 2 years is your job will not be replaced by AI. AI won't sit here and host this morning television program. But 10 years from now, someone who is extremely skilled will probably figure out a way to do it better than the person who can't.
Right.
So it is a tool.
Right.
Right? I mean, remember when we went to cordless tools? Oh, you just pop a battery in and away you go.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah.
plug it and string the
don't have to have an
electrical
outlet.
cord and, it comes unplugged and all this and that. Well, look what we have now. I mean, we've gone from, you could drill about three screws into a deck and then you had to recharge. Well, now, my goodness,
Well, yeah,
lightweight, 40 volt impact, away you go. And
Porky. Just
away you go.
Well, right, and
Everything
I remember
evolves.
thinking, what's wrong with just plugging it in?
Yeah.
But now I've adapted.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that cord is inconvenient.
Well,
Finding an outlet.
and just
yeah.
the time that it takes.
Yeah. Right.
Right? If you can save and be 5 minutes efficient over 3 hours of the day, that's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What might you be able to, and it's not that you got to have your nose into it. Maybe that 15 minutes is actual thought about where you're going to take your next project, what you're going to do. It's some sort of a strategic thought that our days are so jammed and full of technology. You were
Right.
talking about tech, that sometimes we don't give ourselves that space to actually think. And I look at tech that way. If I can become a little more efficient and then have time to actually use the one thing that tech can't totally replace, that's probably a
The
good
funny,
approach.
the funny thing about those AI recognition programs is that's AI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's AI
I know.
recognizing AI.
AI on AI
So
crime,
it's-
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use an AI program
I
to
know.
tell me if the paper that you wrote is AI
Yeah.
or not.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
There's a huge amount of conversation, and I know you're aware of this because you're in the middle of it, going on about trades. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just, I mean, I just hear that more and more, and it balancing, you know, and it's not, you know, the Tom Ensko used to say it really well, and that is that higher education can come in a variety of forms, and everybody needs it in some manner. I
That's
mean,
right.
if you're going to
Yeah.
advance, you know.
No, there was a reason Tom and I really, we connected quite well because we had business backgrounds.
Yeah.
But, so I was in a meeting last night. I had 2 evening events last night. And in one, we were meeting with electrical contractors and plumbing contractors about our apprenticeship programs. And they've done exceptionally well. The challenge is we can't grow even remotely in sync with what the demand is. We're regulated by the state that says, for example, electricians, to have an apprentice, right? Right, you want to go become you want to become a journeyman electrician. Well, that's a 4-year program. It's X number of hours of classroom, and it's, I think, 8,000 hours of on the job, right? So you're working all day for 4 years, plus taking classes. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. You have to be paired with a journeyman. Okay, makes sense, right? This is the on-the-job training, hands-on module that works. Can't be 2 of you. Both of you can't go. It's only 1-to-1. Could we move that to 1.5, right? So 3 of us are now being supervised by 2 journeymen. Yeah. Would that be realistic? We can't get the state to move. I'm going to look right at you. Salem, you got to fix this.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. This
Yeah.
is holding us back.
Yeah.
There are a variety of, and I'm not going to say reasons, I'm just going to flat out say excuses,
Yeah.
right? Labor will say, well, it's unsafe. I'm going to say BS because states all around us are doing it.
Right. And
And
that's
we're
what,
getting thumped.
that
over
was what
here.
I mean, is that a union thing?
Yeah,
Is that,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting thumped on that. Now, safety is a huge concern, right? You don't want people being injured on the job site. But could you don't have to jump to 5-to-1. Could we go 2-to-1? Can we go
Yeah.
3-to-2?
Yeah.
Because we are losing opportunities here. Our businesses and industries are losing opportunities because we can't meet the need. And trades are a huge part of that. I've been using the term more training and skill versus higher education. Learning is learning is learning. Tom is exactly right.
Yeah.
What you learn is skill acquisition. Now, that might be understanding the principles of accounting on your way to a CPA.
Yeah.
It might be understanding constitutional law on your way to being an attorney. It might be understanding biology and physiology on your way to becoming a nurse or something in the medical community. It may be understanding the principles of line-fed welding. It might be how does circuitry work within the electrician field, right? So it's all training.
Yeah.
It's all education. But the trades is exceptionally, I get a little wound up because we are hurting ourselves
Yeah.
because we are so beholden to the way that it's always been.
Yeah.
And we think that by not, here's an example, and I think it applies. We've all been in the workplace where one person does one thing and they won't share what they do with anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do that. I approve that. That's my process. I'm not going to tell you how I do it because that's my job and that's my job security. But the reality is, Susie might trip and fall and break her ankle and be out of work for 6 weeks. Nobody knows how to do that process.
Right.
And everything stops. If Susie shares that a little bit, or Ralph, or whomever, right, and then others can help, sick, vacation, got to go see a grandkid, whatever it might be, there's more capacity that can happen. Susie can learn parts of someone else's role and actually becomes more valuable. Labor, by saying, oh no, it's 1-to-1, they're actually hurting themselves. Because if you were to expand those caps within plumbing, within electrician, within some of the other trades, and say, you know what, we can move this by a half or by 1, they're going to gain more members.
Right.
So why would you not do that? If
Right.
you can do it within the reasonable bounds of safety
Yeah.
and quality, nobody wants shoddy workmanship.
Yeah.
But it is happening all around us. We're losing skilled labor to go to states where they have a more favorable climate to that.
Well, and part of the conversation yesterday was the need, the
Absolutely.
gigantic need
Yeah.
for trades. I mean, particularly with the server farms and
Yeah.
artificial intelligence and all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's way more need than what could ever be supplied.
Let's talk about those data centers, right?
Yeah.
Primarily to the west of us as we're headed towards the gorge. That's a big part. It's a big part of what we do. And we have a couple of different programs. So one is the actual data management, right? Somebody learns how to work with the servers, and it's all the way from how to set up the racks to, how do they move the information around, how do they keep it secure. You know what the other part of that is that's actually growing faster than the data side of it is the plant management. These are massive facilities, 250,000 square feet, usually in a pod of 4. These are massive HVAC systems, right? They're
Right.
swamp coolers. And they
Yeah.
have to stay cool because if those servers get too warm, they don't
burn
function.
up, yeah.
What is the one guarantee that these tech companies say? Your data will always be available. It's beyond redundancy or triple or quadruple. So you don't get a chance to go through those very often, and they only show you so much. However, when you drive by, you look at them and you start to count, right?
Right.
It's a little like counting elk on the herd when you go through Lag Canyon, but you start counting the diesel generators that are outside these buildings.
Right.
Somewhere between 10 and 13 on each side.
Right.
Those generators are massive. So one of the folks will
And
tell
they're
you,
just back up.
and they're about the third backup.
Yeah. Right.
Each one of those generators would power a city of 7,000 homes if they threw the switch on every appliance in the home all together, all 7,000 all at once. Every coffee maker, every microwave, every TV, every computer, everything in
That's
the home
wild.
all at once. One.
Yeah.
And there's 13 on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's being ready for whatever.
Yeah.
So it is that plant management. It's understanding diesel. It's understanding electricity. It's understanding airflow.
Right.
How do you run these giant swamp coolers without the humidity? Because water and servers don't mix very well.
Yeah.
But they have to have clean water, which is because of the access to the Columbia. So these fields, and those are trades, right? But they're high-tech trades.
Right.
I had a hospital CEO tell me a few years ago that 2/3 of the jobs available in their hospital did not require expertise in biology. It's HVAC. Every room is its own little micro
Right.
HVAC system.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's record management, data management. Someone comes in, they get admitted, and then they go to another department. All that record and that background and that triage has to go from tablet to tablet to tablet. Well, how do they manage that information? The transcription of the information, right? It's more than just the person taking it and say, hey, I need your insurance card. That's just a very small part of it. Now, working through and acknowledging the human side of that. When someone goes to the hospital, either through the emergency room or even a planned procedure, there's a lot of anxiety. And many times it's not just the patient, but it's the person with them that's feeding that. How do you help them navigate all that? All of that takes a lot of expertise, and they don't really have to understand how cell division happens.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and I listen to Mike Rowe quite a bit.
Yeah.
And,
I really enjoy him.
I mean, as he's talked about this in these server farms, it's welders, it's electricians, it's HVAC, it's construction, it's all of that, all of that trade.
And it's the skills within those trades.
Right.
So I was talking to one of the diesel companies in town, and we were talking about our graduates. And I said, just tell me how we're doing. They said, technically, your folks are great. They come out, they can diagnose, they go through it, boom, they can fix it. What we need are the people skills. And he gave me an example. He said, we'll get a graduate. We put him in a service truck. It's wheat harvest. That's a high impact time, right? 8:30 at night, call comes in, my combine's broke down. Tech jumps in the truck, runs out there, jumps out, dude, sup?
Yeah.
And here's the 60-something farmer going, and the tech pulls out the phone and starts diagnosing it, and then text him an emoji, lay it, and they leave. There's got communication.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm, Jimmy from here, and so, let's take a look, tell me what it's doing. All the time they're diagnosing, but it is that interaction with the customer. Well, the tech can diagnose it like that and say, you need this, peaker valve, and I've got that, or I'll run back and get it, or we'll have it flown in, or whatever. But being able to communicate with them without,
Right.
in a way that they can bridge that gap, in a way that both understand, because the tech has to understand this is a $600,000 machine that's shut down. Weather's coming, right? The price is falling. And if I don't get it done in the next X number of days, my crop literally shatters and falls on the ground. I have nothing.
Yeah.
You used to learn that skill in high school.
Yeah.
Like communication and being able to communicate
Yeah.
and knowing the difference between talking to your buddy and to an elderly or
Yeah.
talking to your buddy and a professional. You already knew that
Yeah.
before college, like for my generation anyways.
We communicate more now than ever. I mean, we have more platforms, we have more ways to express ourselves, and I think we're less effective than we've ever been as a humanity.
Yeah.
Because we really don't always, I don't really know what drip means other than my faucet. I'm a 63-year-old baby boomer. I don't get what the drip is. My kids and my grandkids will tell me at some point when they're done laughing at me.
I mean, your shirt's a little drippy.
See, I didn't know dripping was a word.
Brett and I are going, what? But my point being is that, we text, we post, we listen to videos and reels and YouTubes and, and all that it's all communication, but yet I think we're connecting less than we ever have. Mm-hmm. We don't sit down and have conversations very often to where we understand. And understanding from a 63-year-old's point of view, how do I connect with an 18-year-old or a 35-year-old or. And those are the challenges that I think, and can AI solve that for us? No, but it can help us. And that's where I think developing skills, and that's why training after high school. I have such admiration for our K-12 folks. I have a sister who's a kindergarten teacher in another state, and she tells me the stories about the kids coming in, and it's not just COVID kids, but in general, the challenges that you now see, and it's different. I always knew. I just went to my 45th class reunion last weekend. We knew when we were in school and young, if we got in trouble at school, the trouble at home, there was no question. They're going to back the school, back the teacher, right? You got in trouble, and it was going to be far worse.
Yeah.
Now it has to be mediated.
No,
Pretty
you're
much.
right.
And the poor educator in the classroom feels like they're under attack all the time. They can't practice the methods that are effective, and that's not. Many of us grew up in a time when the principal still would give you a swat with a paddle.
Yeah.
There was a reason that we evolved past that. It wasn't, but and many times now, verbal or emotional can be even far more harming. But there are many effective ways. These are professional people who train. I mean, educators really don't get the summer off. They have to go and earn continuing education credits to keep their certification up. They're learning about new ways. I have such great admiration for people in the K-12 classroom because it's really, really difficult. And then they come to us. And by age, they're adults.
Right.
We were going through a FERPA training, which is the federal term for essentially we can't tell you, Mom and Dad, even though you're paying the bill because your son or daughter's 18.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is a crazy dynamic to really navigate. But, they're 18, but their brains are still 5.
Yeah.
And their emotional intelligence sometimes has not caught up yet, and so making decisions, and this is sometimes how kids get themselves in trouble, and it's just such a process. And we all grow and mature and grow up, and I joke all the time, I get older, but have I really grown up? But you do, and that's where the challenge becomes. But it is not an easy road, But thank goodness we have people doing it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you can teach yourself a lot on YouTube. But can you learn to interact with that farmer out in Cove whose combines broke down
Right.
effectively to help them resolve the crisis that they're in?
Yeah.
You can learn how to do stitches and an IV on YouTube. But can you learn the empathetic skills to help calm maybe the patient, but even more so the spouse or the partner who's here who's very worried because the person that they care most about in the world is in trouble,
Yeah.
right? Those are the types of things where training and skill acquisition will always have a role. So we continually work to
Well,
find
and those soft,
the best way
what do
forward.
they call those? Are those? Is that part of soft skills too?
You know, for years we've called them soft skills. I just call them essential skills.
Right. But I mean, right. And along with that, the ability to show up on time.
Yep.
And work hard while you're there.
Well, and that
And,
understand, and this comes out, you know, cranky, get off my lawn guy, but that there are steps and progressions.
Right.
Right. You're 24, you're 28, you're well skilled and trained, but you're not going to be held in the same light as the 55-year-old who's been doing this for 25 years.
Yeah.
Now, technically, skill-wise, you may be eclipsing that person, so you'll advance faster. At you know, that will be accelerated. But there is also learning about how to interact with the proper level of respect and decorum.
Other cultures,
Yeah.
that is an absolute
The
must.
elders, you know,
It's a must.
yeah.
You can't not do it.
I will be first in line to tell you, as a boomer, we don't know everything. We might be nearing the end of our career time. I got a lot to learn still, because the world changes quickly. But what I will tell you is that I'll look at somebody who's 75 or 85 and still ask questions, because there's 15 or 20 years of experience that I can learn from. I know that there's a 28-year-old out there that can do bing, 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 faster than I can. But have they seen this? Have they gone through this? What would they do in this? So it's the total package. And I think that's where our role in higher education, Kelly Ryan and I talk about this all the time with Dana Young from Treasure Valley. You know, it's the totality of it all. That's really where the value is. And many people have chosen to define that as, well, you have to have a broad-based liberal arts education. I think our role is not to teach people what they think, but to teach them how to think. Develop your own.
Yeah.
Understand that critical thinking is not critical in the sense that it's negative, that it's analytical.
Right.
Figure out how to read and then think. Not regurgitate, but think. What does that really mean? And what does it mean to me? And when you get some skills in that area, then you gain education. And whether that's how the sheer chemistry of something works, whether that's the sheer physics of how something works, whether that's the interpersonal dynamic or the combination of it all, that's where the light goes off. And that's the cool part about what we get to do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Basically, give them a template.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking of the steps, and you and I are very close to the same age, that I went through. I mean, I remember when my dad gave me a comb, and my only job was to keep the comb with me and comb my hair during the day. I mean, you know, to keep yourself groomed. That was the thing.
Look presentable.
Look presentable, yeah. And then, you know, and the next step was, once I started earning money, to keep a wallet and keep track of it, you know. And, oh, you have a driver's license, you know. And then the other thing was to keep track of your keys. I mean, but all of those things, you know, they elevated my responsibility.
Yes.
You know, they elevated my ability to keep track of myself, you know.
It was, the principles are still there.
Yeah.
but they're just different now.
Yeah.
And yes, I think we had similar fathers. And,
Yeah.
don't leave the house looking like you just rolled out of the barn.
Right.
Well, I was just in the barn doing chores.
Yeah.
Right. Run the comb through your hair.
Go
Right.
wash
Because
your
there'll
face.
be a time when you won't have hair to run a comb through. So
Yeah.
be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Right. But it is teaching those platforms of personal responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
I will be here. Work starts at 8. I'll be here at 7:45.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be ready to go. I'll answer my phone. Not what, but good morning. Hi, it's Mark. How may I help you?
Right. Yeah.
Those types of things. And we interact, again, AI. How many times have we been on the phone and please press 1, please press, it's AI. But then you finally get a person on the phone and you're so excited.
There's a commercial about that
Yeah,
right now.
and you're really excited about that. But how do you interact versus I've been on hold for 17 minutes, right? And now I'm frustrated and I'm late or I'm this or I'm that, and I'm going to take my frustration out on this poor person it's not their fault.
No.
They're picking them up as fast as they can. How can we do a little better with that kind of thing? So, it's just learning. What was it? There was a movie that the line was basic principles, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, Mark, thank you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to come catch up. I hope you all are doing well.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yes, sir.
and we
Yeah.
love having you.
Yeah. No, I'll come over again. And Eastern Oregon's a wonderful place. I enjoy our working relationship with President Ryan and EOU. I enjoy our relationship with Treasure Valley. The three of us work together rather closely. Mark Mulvihill at the ESD, we all partner together because we have to.
Yeah.
And it's a bonus that we like to.
Yeah.
But this is how we get things done out here.
Yeah.
And we're not sitting here waiting for Washington to fix it for us, because heaven knows they're never going to get that done.
Right,
And
yeah.
to the same degree, Salem, right? You just have to figure out a way.
Yeah.
We're all frustrated with what's happening there. I know our folks are working, Senator Nash and Bobby Levy and Representative Smith, they're working to try to do what they can. There are constraints within that. But in the meantime, we can't just sit here and go, well, can't do anything until they fix it. We just figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's conversations like this where I think we help each other understand where we're at and what we might be able to do to help you and vice versa. That's how we get through all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You wanna
it.
get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, September 18th, 1793, U.S. President George Washington lays the cornerstone of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. 1851, the first edition of the New York Times is published. How much do you think it cost when it first came out? 1851. How much did a copy of the New York Times cost?
penny.
2 penny.
2 pennies.
Oh,
2 pennies.
two.
Is that where we got that, your 2
pennies.
cents
I'll
worth?
give you your 2 cents.
Maybe.
I'll bet so.
Yeah. 1947, the CIA officially comes into existence after being established by President Truman. He actually established it in July, but it didn't actually become the CIA until this date, which is the 18th of September. In 1971, Momofuku Ando markets the very first cup of noodles, packaging them in a waterproof polystyrene container. Could you imagine if we didn't have cup of noodles, how many college students would have starved to death? Yeah. 1994, Ken Burns' documentary miniseries Baseball premieres on PBS, and it's my favorite movie.
That's a good
I mean, it's the best documentary
good one.
ever. I've probably watched it 50 times, I would imagine, right around there. It won an Emmy for Outstanding Informational Series, and Ken Burns is just,
Great storyteller.
he's the man. 2001, first mailing of anthrax letters from Trenton, New Jersey. You have to be alive during that time, so younger people won't understand, but that was a pretty scary time with the whole anthrax letter thing going on. 2022, U.S. President Joe Biden says in a CBS TV interview, "We still have a problem with COVID, and we're still doing a lot of work on it, but the pandemic is over." Has it already been 3 years since COVID's been over?
Except it's back. Right?
Oh.
Isn't there new COVID?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Maybe it's like new Coke. It won't catch on.
2024 Tupperware Brands, which has been the maker of plastic kitchenware since 1948, files for bankruptcy. The number one song on this day in America in 1995, Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. This was the title track for the soundtrack of the movie Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer. And then the quote of the day comes from Scott Belsky. It's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen. One more time. It's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you, Mark.
Hey, my
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yep.
Good to
Yeah.
see you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't forget that game. Yeah.
Tomorrow night at 6.
Tomorrow
And
night at
then
6.
we'll also be televising the Baker game, which has been moved to 5 o'clock on Saturday
Saturday.
versus Vail. Yep.
Yep. All right. Thank you all. See you soon.